Paltrocast.
Whose birthday is it?
Oh, it's nobody's birthday. I took that from this media event, this avocado-shaped balloon, and 3 months later, it's still inflated. I mean, have you seen an avocado balloon before?
No, I haven't.
Well, John, thank you for taking the time. Really appreciate it. Now, the first question I have is somebody who's coming to see you live on these upcoming tour dates, what does the set list look like? Is it pretty much the solo hits, the Moody hits, and a couple of songs that you're dying to play?
No, this whole tour is really to keep the Moody Blues music alive. It's all Moody Blues songs, songs I've written or the rest of the guys have written, you know. That's the first half of the show. And the second half is a complete of Days of Future Past. And John Davison from Yes joins me on stage. And I think it's a great show because it's all Moody Blues music.
Right.
And I've got an incredible version of the poetry from Days of Future Past, which Graham Edge recorded for me and videoed for me. So Graham joins me on stage as well, albeit on screen. But it's a great moment in the show.
That's fantastic. Now, when exactly in your career, because you had all these million sellers in the 60s, 80s, even the 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s, things still went great. But a lot of your peers just at a certain point went, I'm done with this. I'm done with the road. It's not going to get any better. In your case, all these decades later, you're still headlining theaters and recording when you feel like it. When did you kind of realize that you were a lifer as opposed to waiting on chart hits?
When I was 16,
Oh,
yeah, I totally fell in love with music, rock and roll, totally. And but I knew I had to pace myself, only do a certain amount of things, and then change to writing and recording. Try and get a balance throughout the year, so you don't get overworked in any one of those areas. I think problem with a lot of bands, they took to world tours, which lasted like 18 months and on the road for that long. And after that, they got wasted. And I think Moody Blues, we never did that. We always said, okay, we didn't used to tour through the summertime as well. We always took the summertime off to be with family. So we tried to pace everything so we didn't feel as though we were burning out what we were doing.
so basically the opposite approach to the Beach Boys.
Yes, and they're big friends of mine. I love the Beach Boys.
I do. I do too. That wasn't a slag at their work ethic.
No, I talk to Bruce regularly, and he says to me, "We're still on the road, John."
Yeah, because you know I'm dialing in from Long Island, New York. You're playing here in Patchogue in a couple of weeks at the Patchogue Theater. But like clockwork, you go summer tour. The Beach Boys will be at Jones Beach. Winter tour, they're going to do the Christmas show at Westbury Music Fair or whatever that venue is called. And you haven't been like that. You've been more selective with your touring over the years.
Yeah, we have. We just decided. I only want to tour at that period of time, and do it exactly how I want it to be, and how we all wanted it to be. And I think you can give your best then. You're not overtired. You're not worked out, and it worked for us really well.
Yeah. Now, you also have the challenge of people call the Moody Blues prog, whether or not you agree with that, but you have a lot of notes, a lot of parts to memorize. It's not just an A, B song structure. Is it challenging for you to play this many notes, this many years into your career?
I hope not. I just enjoy. I play every day, and I've been rehearsing now for a month for the tour, and it's great to uh, actually revisit, particularly some of my bass lines, and think, where on earth did those come from? You know, but it's good. It's good. It's our music, and I think someone asked me once, "Why did you start writing your own songs?" And a bit tongue in cheek, I said, "I would start singing down in Louisiana, across the New Orleans,
Yeah.
and I couldn't remember the rest of the lyric." And I thought, well, if I write my own lyric, I've got a chance of remembering everything.
Then again, all of your peers use teleprompters. So if you could have known 30, 40 years in advance that everyone used teleprompters, that would have saved you writing original music.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, that's one of the things when we got together. When I joined the Moody Blues, I spoke to Mike and Ray at the time, because Ray and I and Mike had worked together before the Moody Blues. And I said, I don't want to perform American songs anymore. I don't want to be a copy band. And Mike said, exactly, that's why we're going to write our own songs. And that appealed to me tremendously. So, we were playing songs from the Delta and Memphis and Philadelphia and New York. And we'd never been to America. So
Right.
you couldn't understand the ethos of it or the mentality of where the songs were coming from. And when we decided to write our own songs about English blues in a way, we could understand ourselves, and that's what made it more easy, or
Yeah.
probably.
Well, one thing that fascinates me about classic artists, and I'm calling you a classic artist in a complimentary way, because when you have decades of success, your fan base has multiple generations of fans. You're a classic. So I like to find out which territories they were bigger in than others or unknown in. So, for example, we know that the Moody Blues, everything was a hit in the US, UK, all over Europe, Australia. But I don't get the impression that the Moody Blues was so big in Japan and Asia overall. Am I wrong about that?
You're probably right. We sold a lot of records in Japan, and but we only toured there once, and I think we should have toured there a lot more times. But every time we wanted to do a tour, because we limited ourselves, these two particular lengths of time, agent in America said, "Why do you want to go there when you could tour in the USA?" I think that took precedent.
Yeah, when I go through classic artists, for example, the Who's first tour of Japan, I think was 2007. So in other words, they waited almost 40 years into the career to go to Japan, whereas other artists like your buddies in Yes and ELP and all that were always in Japan as like the first important marquee reunion kind of thing. So was that also your management besides the booking agent going, yeah, stick with the US and Europe?
I think it was the agency. I like Japan. I had a great time. Got some great memories, great photographs, and I'd like to go back there. And Southeast Asia, I've been there visiting privately, and our music is there. I've heard it on the radio, and but we never did tour there, so it's a shame. It's a bit we missed out on, and it's a great place. All those Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, it's Singapore.
But despite that, to rudely interrupt you, despite that, it doesn't seem like you have a career of regrets. It seems like you did everything you wanted to do when you wanted to do it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm not one for looking back on things anyway, and yeah, I think we did what we wanted to do when we wanted to do it. That's probably the important thing.
Well, I've got two quick questions for you, and then I'll let you go. And the first one, I don't know if I'm going to get a 2-second no or a 5-minute diatribe here. That's a lot of musicians who are very skilled at a certain point in the late 70s or early 80s, there was a pressure or an offer for them to go punk. Was that ever something that almost happened, you going metal or punk?
No, it's strange you should say that, because when we released Long Distance Voyager, which actually was one of the biggest albums ever by the Moody Blues, that was at the height of the punk era. And I remember reviews saying, who's going to buy this album? Because it's a punk era now. And we came out with Gemini Dream. So, yeah, it was great because I loved all these eras of different music, from the glam rock, punk rock, because it kept it vibrant. It wasn't where we were. We were traveling a different road, but it was great because it kept the music vibrant. And I think in some ways that's what's wrong now. The vibrancy is gone from the music.
Yes. And the last thing I want to know, all we really know about John Lodge is great musician, hits and all that. But what's the main passion or hobby when you don't have to record, you don't have to tour, you don't have to do press? What's life like?
I play golf. I enjoy golf. I came to golf really late, but I really enjoy golf because to me it's a Zen sport. It's you and the ball. And I found when I was writing or recording, if I got stuck, I'd go out on the golf course and so focused on hitting the bloody ball, it cleared my mind. And sometimes I'll get the inspiration there because of my mind being cleared. And but other than that, I like competition. So I don't play golf as a hobby. I like to play in tournaments because I like the competitiveness of a golf tournament.
But no tea time with Alice Cooper?
Yes, I've played with Alice.
You have?
Alice and Glenn Campbell. We had great times with Alice in Arizona. Yeah, great.
And fascinating. Well, John, thank you for the decades of great art. Looking forward to your Long Island show. Looking forward to future recordings and all that. Keep up all the greatness out there.
Thank you very much, Darren.
Paltrocast.